Okay. Okay, let's get the meeting started, everybody.
Yeah, I think we should start. Yeah, and anybody joining, we can just admit them as they come in. Oh yeah,
Sure.
there's somebody new.
Okay. Okay, welcome everybody. Hello and welcome to the Malton Toastmasters, and welcome Toastmasters and guest. My name is Carlton DeCosta. I am the Sergeant at Arms at this Toastmasters meeting. I would like to begin by stating the mission of a Toastmasters Club, and the mission is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Just to inform you guys some of the rules that are to be respected during the meeting, please turn off all noise-making devices, or you can put them on silent. If you can have yourself muted. And okay. And during the speech, if you can have your cameras turned on, so that way for the speaker to know that people are listening and paying attention. So at this time, I would like to invite our president, Mr. Paul Chima.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sergeant at Arms. So I would love to start with welcoming amazing guests here that came to our open house, and with a big round of applause, Madhko Shahi, and we have Trinlu, Neha Shrestha, Aditya, Rajendran, Kleshwar Murthy, and Renu. Thank you very much for joining today's meeting. I'm pretty sure you will go empowered, because this is a powerful session and we are going to deliver what we promise, quality, and we'll try to ignite the passion in you to be a better you. That is what the whole goal and focal point of this meeting is. And we have an amazing speaker. I will hold on to that name till it's time to introduce him. Till then, we'll keep it secret. And I would like to say something about Toastmasters before I hand over control to our, I think it's myself as Toastmaster. Sorry for that. So before I hand over control to me in the capacity of Toastmaster. So what I wanted to share was 2.5 years back, someone offered me to join Toastmasters. It was in Markham. It was a real estate people's group. And I was running for Real Estate Council of Ontario's position as director from this region. And I was offered, come over, we have so many realtors, and maybe you will get some votes. Votes were what got me into Toastmasters group. I knew nothing about it, have no idea what about it. And I had always challenged talking to other people, communicating. I feel so comfortable talking to you now, but at that time, 2.5 years back, when I joined Toastmasters, I had zero knowledge of what this club is. So I went in, it was a long drive, 1.5 hour drive all the way to Markham every weekend. And I would pay tons of money to 407. So then I decided I'm not going to go there anymore. And I got into Malton Community Toastmasters, the amazing past president, Mr. Madan Chauhan, who embraced me with open arms and said, Paul, come in here. If it were not for Mr. Madan Chauhan, I wouldn't be what I am today, the president of this club. He inculcated the values of leadership. He showed the pathway, and here we are. And I feel so easy talking in my personal and professional life. Ever since I joined Toastmasters, I'm going to share a secret with you. My wife started listening to me very well. Before that, no, because she found I didn't have tonality. I didn't have high and low pitches. I don't pause when I talk. I was kind of crazy guy, blabbering nonstop without even letting her understand what I'm saying. But now when I speak, she listens. So guys, Toastmasters is going to help you in your personal and professional life. I see it every day in my business. Because Toastmasters is not about speaking, it's about listening as well. It's about empathizing with people and giving them nice feedback when one-to-one conversation is going on. That's how Toastmasters helps. Always have helped me and will keep helping me. This is a passion we are now growing with. So with that thought in mind, I wish that you all enjoy today's session. And once again, for those who attended, joined today's meeting, well, I will again give you a big round of applause. And I will have, we have one reserve speaker today, and his name is Mr. Satish Prabhu. I don't know why he put his name as a reserve speaker. It's kind of baffles me, but he is our Vice President Education. Satish Prabhu, he's a force to reckon with. Powerful personality, always motivating other people. And when I was running low on my energy a few days back, he pulled me out of it. Because if you heard our Sergeant Carlton DeCosta stating the mission statement, it was collaborative and supportive way. And that's exactly what Satish did. I think it was a month or 2 months back when I was really running low on energy, and he said, Paul, I'm here for you. Thank you very much, Satish, for that thought and helping me out. And here we give the control to our Vice President Education, Mr. Satish Prabhu, who is going to run a small presentation for the guests to understand what we do and how we do. I hope I haven't taken more time, Mr. Prabhu. You can talk to me about that later on. You can give me any growling comments later, but I wanted to say it. Thank you very much, guys. Please, a big round of applause for our Vice President Education, Mr. Satish Prabhu.
Whoa! Wow, I'm already pumped up. What did you have for lunch today, Mr. Paul?
Not for lunch, but I just made goat meat up there. I'm thinking about that.
No wonder. All right. So welcome everyone who has joined us today, especially the newcomers who are trying to figure out what Toastmasters is all about. You have already seen some people in action, some people who already spoke, like the Sergeant at Arms, how he welcomed, he stated the mission. And this is a reminder for us. This is what happens exactly at every meeting when we first start. The Sergeant at Arms opens the meeting and states the mission. So, including the veterans, remember what Toastmasters is all about. We are all humans. We keep making mistakes and we keep running into problems with other people. And a reminder in the beginning with the mission keeps us all focused throughout the meeting and make sure that everybody has a very, very good meeting, productive meeting, and enjoy and return home or wherever they go back enhanced, in a better way, and they then have a better effect on the community. So what do I have today? Let me share my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is Toastmasters International? So in the next 5 to 10 minutes, I will run through the whole idea of what Toastmasters is, where did it come about, and what's happening today, and how it has an impact on your life, wherever you are. Find your voice. So a little bit about myself. 8 to 9 years ago, a friend of mine constantly nagged me about Toastmasters. And he said, please come to my club. You will really, really enjoy and your life will change. At the time, I was so busy with my life, professional life, I never had time for figuring out what this thing is about, Toastmasters. It took a setback in my life when I was laid off. I had so much time on my hand, and the friend, whatever he told me, it reminded me of him. And I called him and I said, hey, you asked me about Toastmasters. I am free now and I want to see what this is all about. I decided to go and check it out at the next meeting. At the first meeting, it was a very overwhelming experience. We had a conference room with 10, 15 people around it. Everybody seemed very businesslike, but very friendly. And over a month or two, where I was encouraged to speak, I was learning the ropes and understanding the whole format. But I never had the guts to go and speak in front of the people. It took me maybe 6 months before I ventured into my first speech as an icebreaker. And that too, I was very nervous. My hands were sweaty. I was palpitating. My heart was running like a horse. But I managed to give my speech, and I never looked back after that day because of only one thing. It's the Toastmasters spirit. It's the Toastmasters principle, where we encourage, we support, and we hold each other's hand and allow a person to grow and find their potential. And this is exactly what Toastmasters is all about. So everybody who's here today knew, what can Malton Community Toastmasters do for you? And what is Toastmasters? So here is a background. It's a non-profit educational institution. It empowers people so that they become effective communication and leaders, communicators and leaders. It's a network. So Toastmasters is basically a big, huge network of over 364,000 members. So we are growing every day, every day. And can you believe it? We are also existing in over 145 countries. So no matter which part of the globe you are in, you will find a Toastmasters club close to you. Imagine today I was learning something and came across this website called Dale Carnegie. How many of you have heard of Dale Carnegie? What is the only thing I knew about Dale Carnegie until a few days ago was that he has some books. He's an author, and one of the books that I have read is How to Influence Others and Win Friends. And it has been a guide that I have used for a long period of time. But I did not know that Dale Carnegie is also an institution where corporate leaders go for training. And they have specialized training where you go and stay in a hotel and you pay thousands of dollars. I looked at the menu of what they offer and how they train, and I realized many of the things that they train their corporate leaders to do is exactly what Toastmasters does, but at a fraction of the cost. This is the difference between a Dale Carnegie Institute and Toastmasters. A Toastmasters does exactly the same thing, but you don't spend your fortune becoming a leader. So you are in the right place. So if you have any doubts about how or will you ever become a good communicator or a leader, don't. You are in the right place. So what are the benefits? I think I already spoke about some of the things that you will improve on your public speaking. So if you are here today to get better at your public speaking, if you are nervous standing in front of a room full of people to speak, or you are one of those guys who always stay at the back when somebody says, I need a volunteer to do something. You wish that you are the last person chosen because you don't want to do the work. Being in Toastmasters will change you. It will make you better. It will make you a good leader. You will jump at opportunities. You will jump at opportunity to speak. Next time you're called at a friend's wedding or at a funeral, you will try to make sure that you get a spot to speak. This is the effect of Toastmasters. It makes you a more confident person. It also makes sure that you are in harmony with everyone around you, your family, your friends, and most importantly, in your personal life, in your professional life. So what is the experience inside a club? What does it look like? And that's something we will showcase in a few minutes. We believe in this one simple thing, learning by doing. So when you come to Toastmasters, this is exactly how you work. You are learning by doing. We do not have anybody sitting down, holding your hand, training you. You watch others and you learn from them. You take the bold step of saying, okay, I'm going to speak. You present a speech and you have somebody who's going to be your mentor before you prepare your speech. After you give your speech, there will be somebody who will evaluate your speech and they will give you that constructive feedback. So there is absolutely nothing to fear about. There is absolutely nothing to be nervous about. The whole experience is such that you come out better. And you can see here the club mission. We provide a supportive, positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication leadership skills, resulting in a greater self-confidence and personal growth. And this is something that we keep hammering at every meeting, as you have already heard. Now, we have a educational training program, which is online, and it's called Pathways. So when you sign up as a new member, you are given something to register on. You go to the website, and there is some assessment that you do based on your feelings about what you want to do or how better you want to be. And it will present you some choices at the end of the assessment. You choose one of those paths. That's what we call it's a path. And each path then has your projects where you deliver your speeches. Everything that you see in Toastmasters is by learning. You're learning by watching others, but there are also mentors who hold your hands and you get one-on-one guidance that you need, which is very, very crucial in the initial stages. So when you are new, let's say for the first 5 or 6 months, you need somebody to hold your hand. So there will be an experienced Toastmaster who will work side by side with you, holding your hand, helping you to navigate anything that you feel you are not able to handle on your own. Now, these are the 11 paths that we have. Each one of them is targeted for something that you want to see yourself develop into. And once you sign up, do your assessment, you will be presented with a few of these recommendations. And you choose one of these recommendations and you start your project. And the very first speech that most of us give is called an icebreaker. And an icebreaker is nothing but talking about yourself, because every one of us is comfortable telling a story about their own self. And this is exactly what you would do in your first speech. And where is the growth part of it? You come, you give a speech, but how do we grow? Well, for every speech that somebody gives, there is a person who evaluates your speech. And the evaluation is also part of the training program. So there is, in that project, there will be an evaluation sheet, which is given to your evaluator, who is assigned during the meeting, and they are listening to you. So when you are learning to speak, there are others who are training themselves to listen better and give a better evaluation. So once your speech is over, the evaluator gives you a constructive feedback, plus gives you a formal recorded evaluation. So you can go back, look at it, and then see what you can do to improve yourself. Now, is the learning only inside the club? Absolutely not. It doesn't stop at the club. Once you become a member, you get a subscription to a monthly magazine, which is called the Toastmasters magazine, which contains a lot of important articles that will help you further. We also have what is called a speech contest, which starts at the club level. And then as you get better, you compete, you win, you go to the next level until you can go up to the international level. So remember, I said that there are clubs in 145 countries. So every contest that started at the club level, finally the winners who come, they meet at the international level, and they all come from all these 145 countries. That happens every year once in August or September. Here is a website for everyone who is new today. Make a note of it, toastmasters.org. There are a lot of helpful videos to give you, because we have a very limited time here to explain what we can do here. But if you can go and spend some more time, navigate and look at some of the videos, you'll get a lot more insight into what Toastmasters is all about. I already spoke about this. Remember Dale Carnegie and Toastmasters? So here is a side-by-side comparison of how much money you would have paid with Dale Carnegie and how much you are expected to pay in Toastmasters. So in Toastmasters is $45 for every 6 months, which means it comes to about roughly less than $200 for the whole year, which is not a lot for anyone to spend to improve themselves. We spend a lot more on chai lattes or other things at Starbucks. I think this is this is a really a good deal, a bargain, I would say, in today's terms, if you were to look at it in those terms. So what do we have now? I'm going to stop speaking, and I will now give you an insight, a small demo of what happens during a Toastmasters meeting. I'm sure all of you came to understand that there will be some speeches and how the speeches are being evaluated. So here I have our VP of membership, Rochelle. She has been a Toastmasters for roughly about 2 years, I think, and she can confirm that. She's on something we call level 3 of the pathways. When you start your pathways, you start with level 1 and it goes all the way to level 5. So she's somewhere in the middle of her journey, and she is now going to speak on something called transformation. But I'll let our Toastmaster introduce her and take it away from here. Thank you.
Satish, you made a mistake on my last name. It's not a double L, it's one L. Sorry.
1L?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry
Okay.
about that. Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay, typo. It happens.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Mr. Satish Prabhu. That was awesome. So I sincerely hope that people who joined us for the first time, they got some of it, but they can always come back and ask for more. And I would like to remind all the guests here, if you want to test the waters, you can join our Toastmaster meetings as a guest. You don't have to pay anything. We meet first and third Sundays, 6 to 7:30 p.m. So let us know and we can add you to our group and send you the link over. So you can always come and see for yourself. And the beauty is, as a guest, you can also give an icebreaker speech. Let people know about you. So what I'm going to do forward before I take the agenda to the next level, I just want to tell you this. Our today's speaker is a live example of what Toastmasters does to people. This person is a 4-time speech champion, a 3 times international award-winning speaker, and he was this close to becoming the international speaker at International Conference of Toastmasters. And he's a 3 times semi-finalist. When I said he was this close, and he's not stopping, he will keep hammering and hammering and hammering. So you will enjoy and you will be thrilled at his speech. And I will tell you where he came from, where he went, what he is today. It's all because of amazing opportunity this Toastmaster platform provides. But before I take to the next level, I'm going to give a shout out to a few dignitaries in this meeting. Please welcome Janice Gordon, our area director, and Dr. Gul, his division director, Mr. Madan Chauhan, our past president, and I see Dolores Baptist. I'm trying to understand, I forgot, my mind is not in the right place. So Baptist, would you like to tell me, you are in Brampton Alpha, right? Is Dolores still here?
I don't think Dolores is in the meeting right now.
Maybe she was here, but she got signed off, I guess. And we have our amazing person, Madhukar Shahi. And of course, one and one only, our Rogers Caesar, distinguished Toastmasters. So with that, I'm moving forward. And I would like to invite, with a big round of applause, Mr. Madan Chauhan, evaluator for Rachel L. Lindsay's speech with single L. Mr. Madan Chauhan, can you please introduce Rachel's speech title and objective, please?
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day. I'd like to ask one question before I go there. I do not see the timer on this agenda. Who is the timer and
This
who
is
will
a
be doing the
liberal
timing?
agenda today, but I will show the timer for Rachel's speech.
Okay, so you will do that, right?
Yes, today I will do for her.
Okay, and okay, it's I'm very proud of Rachel, and she has gone a long way to do things, and she's improved a lot. And today she's taking up project 3 from the leadership development project. She's delivering a speech, and the purpose of the speech is to speak to the members and practice delivering a social speech in front of the members. The time is 5 to 7 minutes. And the speech title is Transformation. Now, Mr. Toastmaster, you can introduce her. Speech title is Transformation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chauhan. So you heard a lot about Rachel Lindsay. She's our Vice President membership of Firebrand Toastmaster. And she's utilizing the skills learned at Toastmasters to impress her interviewers. And she's killing it. And people are saying, wow, where were you before? So with a big round of applause, guys, Rachel Lindsay, Transformation, Rachel Lindsay. Take it away, Rachel.
I was trying to do it standing, but I guess my thing is not working properly. So can I do it sitting? Does it matter?
Whatever works for you works for us.
Okay. So fellow Toastmaster and honored guests, have you ever experienced pandemic eating? Let me see a show of hands. Have you ever experienced that during the pandemic? Okay, so I see a show of hands. Fellow Toastmaster and honored guests, well, I have suffered by pandemic eating during this difficult time. And myself, I've struggled through a lot of different struggles, which is losing my job and also pandemic eating. So I just wanted to tell you guys that you're not alone in this. It happened to me. It could happen to any one of us. I was watching TV and I realized I was so depressed. I had to do something to improve myself. I had to improve my health, my mentality to get better. So what I had to do is I had to take charge of my life. So what I did is I went to the doctor. I did some blood work recently, and the blood work was really, really bad. So what I had to do is I had to change the way I eat and changed my mentality also. So what I did is I went to the doctor, they showed me the results, and then I took charge with my life. So I started eating vegetables and fruits and all of those good healthy stuff to get back to who I was. Also doing walking. Have you guys ever walked doing exercises? Let me see a show of hands. No? Well, you guys need to get back and be active during these times. These are tough times. Now they're talking about a third wave of COVID. We got to do something. We have to take charge of our lives. So that's what I've learned. Through this struggle, I had to take charge. I had to look after myself. I had to question myself and wonder what I need to do to get better. So what I realized, I had to reflect on my problem. I had to accept that I had a problem and I had to take the necessary steps for the problem. And the results of that, I had to get better. I had to get better with my eating, my exercise. And then in conclusion, what I wanted to say is that transformation was really, really, I took charge. So I want to say to you guys, you need to take charge of your life to get better and to be happier, because we only have one life to live. Life is too short. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madame Rochelle. That was really a demo speech. For more information, contact Rochelle Lindsay, ABC 23456789. And now, as we are giving a demo of speeches and how evaluations are conducted, so you will get a glimpse of evaluator doing evaluation on Rochelle's speech. But before that, I will again give a big shout out to our ex-past area director, Train Lu, who is in a listening mode. And I don't know where she's headed to, but she's listening to all of us. So please welcome Mr. Madan Chauhan, evaluator, to evaluate Rochelle Lindsay's speech, Transformation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster of the day, and welcome, Rishal. And you did a fantastic speech. In every speech, there are three components. Something you did very good, something you can just in the middle doing good is there, and something you can improve on. In any speech, first thing is to capture the audience. And what you did good with asking the question, have anybody suffered with the COVID-19? Which is most of us all did. That took my attention to listen to you and see what are you going to talk about COVID-19. What attention. The second part was to telling the people your own story. that how you have gone through the ups and downs in your life, how you took charge of your life, how you change your own lifestyle, changing your habits, changing your eating. In other words, how you transformed yourself from where you were and where you are today. That makes the audience interested to know how did you do it? Because you did mention, if I can do it, you can do it. So that's an inspirational point. Everybody want to know, how can I do it? When you listen somebody saying, if I do it, you can do it, you're saying, well, if she can do it, I can surely do it. So that's a motivational point. When you were doing a speech, I liked your hand gestures, you moved around. You did say that you were going to stand up and do it, but because of some technicalities, you couldn't. But the only point is, I would say, which you could improve on, is that to stand up and deliver a speech where it makes a more strong points, and you can, your body, your hands, gestures can be more impressive. And you end the story, end your speech with that, I understand my problems, so I take my control. So you understand your problem and you take your control. So you cannot take a control of anything until you understand that thing. It's a mathematical, if you have a problem, if you do not understand what the mathematical problem is, you cannot solve it. Same as anything in the life, even take you at a home, if your light bulb doesn't turn on, you have to know why it is. Where is it, the source? You have to go to the source to find the fuse or something there. So you understood that and you took the control and you did end your speech, be happier. And we're all looking for happiness. Every one of us, everybody on the earth looking for happiness. Happiness is not something you found outside. Happiness is transforming yourself, your ideas, your thinking, and your behavior that makes the happiness. And with that, I say thank you very much, Rochelle, for your speech. It was very effective and very motivational. And back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you for the encouraging words. Thank
You're
you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Madan Chauhan. That is super awesome. Thanks for evaluating Rochelle's speech. I hope at this point, our guests have kind of got a little grasp on what Toastmasters does to people and how they change. So now I'm going to take it forward to something. So let me ask you, all of you, this question. Everyone who is here, even our new members here, new guests here, what do you think a transportation has to do with speaking? Do you see any commonality between transportation and Toastmasters? Is there anyone who can show me a raise of hand, please? Anyone can say anything. Okay, crazy world, right? Transportation, Toastmasters. They both have one commonality that I can think about. It is T. They both begin with T. Toastmasters, transportation, right? And the second commonality is they have a Roger Caesar in transportation and they have a Roger Caesars in Toastmasters. Wow. So I'm going to talk about this amazing person who is gracing our meeting today. Thank you very much, Mr. Caesar. I told you before, and I'm really excited and elated. I feel I'm the lucky one to introduce this person to all of you. Like I told you before, he's a 4-time speech champion, a 3-time international award-winning speaker, and a 3-time semi-finalist at the World Championship of Public Speaking. Very soon, I'm going to see him holding that shield saying, I am the international speaker. And his speeches at the TEDx, More Mondays, Speaker Slam, Fearless Voices, Flip the Script, and Brampton Mastermind have received acclaims from the audience. His dynamic and charismatic style has landed him in many places. Oh, I didn't know that, including Jamaica, California, Boston, and New York City. He has dedicated his time to his community and the youth leadership programs. Amazing. He continues to contribute to Sick Children Hospital, Night Stable Food Bank in Brampton, and recently working with TD Canada, teaching speaking presentation to youth. Good work, Mr. Caesar. Let's welcome the most sought after motivational speaker who is on a mission to help others develop their speaking skills and maximize their greatness. Please welcome Mr. Roger Caesar, Distinguished Toastmasters, we call it DTM, up on stage with a big round of applause. Mr. Roger Caesar, picture this, Mr. Roger Caesar.
He sat in his office, the sun glazing right through the window. Inside, he sat in front of his computer, his blue eyes pierced to the screen. His hair, short, blonde, curly, the sun glistening off of it. I entered through the door, and as I walked in, I could see that it didn't even disturb him. I gave a little bit of a noise. His eyes looked up at me. Can I help you? Well, good morning. My name is Roger Caesar. I am the owner of Caesar Transport, and we do most of your deliveries here. And I know that you are brand new to this company, and I wanted to come in and introduce myself. He stared at me, saying nothing. And then, as if to feel like it was an uncomfortable feeling, finally said, "Nice to meet you." What felt as if it were 2 hours sitting in that moment was only a mere 10 seconds. Sweat began to come off the top of my head. I started to try to think of what to say next. So the natural thought was, well, nothing. I suddenly had to reinforce myself and say that, hey, I am an owner of a company. Let me sound like one. So, well, I just wanted to come in again and just introduce myself. And if there are anything that we can talk about, and if there's anything that you want to pass my way, please do not hesitate. Again, the man looked at me with his stone cold eyes. Thank you. And put them right back on the screen. My fellow Toastmasters, and anyone who doubts their abilities, that was my first experience in understanding that just because you have the name owner in front of your name doesn't necessarily mean people will give you that ultimate respect. You're wondering now, geez, wait a minute, we know Roger Caesar. He could talk about anything. But this happened a mere 10 years ago. 10 years ago, as we go back in time, I sat in that office, scared, sweating, wondering, what did I say or do wrong? When I left the room, I went back to my office, walked into the door. My secretary came to the front door and said, well, were you able, wait. because by the time she had finished what she was saying, I had rushed into my office, closed the door, and said some words that I really cannot say in Toastmasters. Paused for a second, thought about it, and I realized what the problem was. The gentleman that was working at that company was an introvert. I had never experienced anyone like that. Oh, sure, I've had my share of people who I've had to try to find a way to get a conversation with, but that was the first time that I even was stumped. Have you ever been stumped in trying to have a conversation with somebody? That day was the first time I realized that I had a problem. I had an issue. I was not able to articulate myself the way I wanted to. And I vowed on that particular day that I would do anything and everything to make sure that I can communicate with anyone at any time, anywhere, without having any issues. Enter Toastmasters. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, even a 4-time champion has to start somewhere. We all didn't just get up one day and become champion. No, it starts with that first step. So picture this as I bring you back in time. The year was 1988, and I'm going to assume that not everyone was born at that time. Yeah, some of you may have just been a thought to your parents, maybe. I was a junior in high school. Now, before we go any further, please do not calculate my age. This is not the time. Our junior relay team, consisting of Ian, Marlon, Lee, and myself, had just come off of winning the semifinals at the Nationals that year in the relay 4x100 meters with a time of 48.8 seconds. We were the odds-on favorite to win it all. Now, I remember heading to the arena that day, to the stadium, and as we walked in on that bright blue sunny day to the national championships, I could see thousands of people in attendance. And in the crowd, scouts looking for that diamond in the rough. We came in with our neon Nike tracksuits. You remember those ones if you were old enough, the ones that made that noise when you walked? Oh yeah, I see some of you smiling right now. You probably had one. Yeah, exactly. All of us dressed to the nine, ready for action. We were, as I said, the odds-on favorites. At the time of the race, Ian got into the blocks. On your mark, get set. Ian blazed out of the blocks like a bat out of hell. Stick. Lee scurried down the straightaway like a squirrel on steroids. Stick. I took off like a Toastmaster terrified of table topics. Oh, and I see some of you right now doing the same thing, right? You are. But I had no stick. See, when I look back, the squirrel was still 10 meters behind. A last-ditch effort, stick. And as he tried to place it into my hand, it fell on the ground. And with that, all hopes of being national champions. Let me ask you a question. And you could put it in the chat if it's ever happened. In that road of life, that track of life, has there ever been a time when you felt you dropped the baton? Where you failed at something that you expected or hoped that you would be able to do? That's what happened that day. We expected that everything would go correctly. We expected that we were going to be the ones to win. We expected to be national champions. At the end of the race, we sat in the middle of the field, dejected. Our coach, Landry, came over and he put his arms around us. And he said, boys, don't worry about it. You'll get another chance. See, if you believe it, you will achieve it. I quickly jumped up and I said, no, I'm not listening to you right now, coach. We just lost. But here's where the picture comes in. Picture this. See, I was so busy looking at the small picture. You see, the one that said, we just lost. We were embarrassed. We're not going to be national champions. What I failed to see was the big picture. You see, the one that said, we made it to the national championships. We did it with a record time of 48.8 seconds, and we did it together. See a lot of you saying, yes, this has happened. Thank you for participating. We expected to win. See, many times in life, just like when it happened to me 10 years ago and when it happened in 1988, there are times that we expect that things will go perfectly, picture perfect, that everything will go according to plan. But we have to understand there are moments that those big pictures that we expect to happen sometimes have those small ones, the negative things that might occur. But what do? Do you sit and dwell on that small picture? Or do you open up the screen a bit to see what great and positive things have happened along the way? That journey, so to speak. Well, 27 years later, history would repeat itself once again. On the grandest stage of them all, the 2015 World Championships of Public Speaking in Las Vegas, Nevada. I had just finished winning the district. I was on top of the world. I had people cheering this way and that way. People saying, you're gonna be a champion. All these thoughts in my head. And then one day in July, I get a phone call from my mom. She says, hey, how you doing? I'm fine, just practicing my speech for the World Championships. You see, the speech I was doing at the World Championships was a speech dedicated to my grandmother. See, I'd always believed my grandmother at the time was 95 years old, and I had always believed that she was the catalyst and the reason who I was today. She was the closest thing to being my mom. And if anybody knows my mother, please do not tell her this. Do not tell her this, please. The fact is that my grandmother was kind of like right up there. But I was working on that speech because I wanted to dedicate something specially for her. And my mom's call came to me and she said, you know, your grandmother hasn't been feeling well. I was wondering if you'd want to come down. They live in Grenada. And I said, you know what? Yeah, I'll come down. And I went. The following month in August, I went down to visit her. And when I went down and I went inside the room, there was my grandmother, a mere shell of who she used to be. She had got a cut on her foot. And the funny thing about it, if you know old school people, her mentality was, it's just a small cut. I'll just put some Limacol on it, it'll be all right. Don't worry about it. That small cut got infected. That infection turned into gangrene. That gangrene ended up having to take off one of her legs. It's very important that I tell you this particular fact. See, my grandmother was a very independent woman. She did everything and anything by herself. I'm telling you, she could walk from Brampton all the way to Toronto and still beat you in your car. That's how good she was when it came to walking. So imagine taking one leg off of an independent person. What do you think happens? That big mama woman suddenly became skinny and frail. When I walked into the room, I didn't even recognize her. But I picked myself up and I said, you know what I'm gonna do, Grams? I used to call her Gramsy. I said, I'm gonna do something for you. I'm gonna do my speech that I'm going to be doing at the World Championships in about 2 weeks. And I could see that smile on her face. She couldn't talk at this point, but that smile said everything I needed to know. That she was coherent, that she was excited, that she wanted to hear it. And I performed the speech. And when I was done, I told her, look, I'm doing this in 2 weeks, so I don't want you doing anything foolish. She nodded her head. And I left. In 2 weeks' time was supposed to be her birthday on August the 9th. I was heading to the World Championships on the 12th. My grandmother believed in what I had to say so much that she held on to August 10th and passed away. 2 days before I was supposed to truly perform that speech. I wanted so badly to give her something to hold on to. And she did. Can you imagine how I must have felt to then go to the World Championships with a heavy heart and knowing that that speech that I was supposed to deliver and perform for the world to see was now a eulogy. Going there was the hardest thing. What I expected was that it was going to be easy. What I expected was that I would walk on that stage, perform my speech, and go into the sunset as the victor. What I saw was completely different. In the briefing room that day, I sat there with all the other competitors. And I could hear them talking amongst themselves. And as they were scurrying through their words, I heard them say, it's funny, man, when you get to this point, man, you got to be on point. You got to have yourself ready. You got to be the best of the best inside here. You don't have any opportunities to mess up. You have to do everything correct. If you don't come here proper, everything is going to be a mistake. You know what I mean? Because if you come here without this being your best, then you need to have a prop. I don't have a prop. I'm just coming there with me. So with everything going on in my head, I was coming down the elevator for the contest. And instead of making a left into the conference room, I made a right into the store. And I bought myself a mirror, a prop. And when I got on stage, and one of the parts of my speech says, if you're searching for that one person who will change your life, take a look in the mirror. It all begins with you. And when I went to put the mirror back, well, the mirror didn't agree with me. And it crashed on the floor. And instantaneously, it reminded me of those 4 boys back in 1988 and the baton that fell on the ground. I instantly ran out of the room. And as I got outside, all I kept thinking was, oh my God, I embarrassed myself. That small picture that said, I embarrassed myself. I let my grandmother down. I let my district down. Oh my God, what am I going to do? And a gentleman came outside. And he put his hands on my shoulder. Son, are you okay? No. I said, son, I understand. Whatever it is that you're feeling, it will pass. If you believe it, you will achieve it. It's okay. You see, that man named Steve saw the big picture. The one that said, I made it to the World Championships of Public Speaking. The one that said, I represented District 86. The one that said, I did make my grandmother proud. Folks, it's very difficult in life, on that road of life, to understand that there will be times when the small picture will occur. The one that only shows the negative things, the one that always shows us the hardships or the perils that we may go through. The one that always makes us wonder what we expected never came true. But there are times when we need to start looking at that big picture. The positives, the journey, the things that went right, the things that happened that got us to where we are, and focus on those. Keep our mind on that. So you're probably now wondering, what happened in those 3 situations? Well, let me walk you through them. At the World Championships, I didn't win. But the following year, I went back to the World Championships of Public Speaking. And this time, I put on a performance of a lifetime and was very happy. And I looked up at the sky and I knew that I made her proud. And those boys back in 88, well, they dusted themselves off, picked themselves up, and they went back to the national championships the following year. And this time, they made no mistakes about it. They captured the national championships in a record time of 47.6 seconds, a record that stood for almost 6 years. And that man that you see here before you today, Well, he went to Toastmasters and he learned the skills necessary to become an efficient speaker. And he learned how to communicate with every type of individual. He learned the big picture. He understood that by going through the journey, he was going to be able to win. Today, that gentleman and him are very good friends. And we often communicate more now physically than like this. I want you to remember this. If you don't remember anything else that I've said today, it is often said, and this is a quote, it is often said that if you believe in yourself, you will be unstoppable. But in order to do that, you must imagine with all your mind, believe with all your heart, and achieve with all your might. For if you believe it, you will achieve it. Picture this.
Oh, Roger, wow, 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 wow. You reminded a lots of things. Wow. God bless you. And God bless your mother's soul, grandmother's soul.
Fantastic speech, Rogers.
Wow,
Thank you very
wow,
much.
wow. What I can
We
say,
see,
wow.
we see an entrepreneur afraid to speak, and we see some those boys who couldn't win the championship, and we see the grandson who ultimately made her grams proud. Different scenarios, different outcome, but champion in everything. Thank you very much for reinforcing and reminding us the values of looking at the bigger picture and not get intimidated by the smaller stumbling blocks that come in our way. And when we bring them so close and they totally eclipse the big picture, and you need to hold them away from your eyes in order to be able to see the horizon and realize that you can do so much more. Fabulous speech, I must say. You won my heart. Thank you very much. And we are at 7:20 now, and I'm not sure if we are still going to run the table topics, but maybe we'll have our guest participate in that rather than all of us. Maybe a sample we can do, if you agree with me, Mr. Prabhu.
Absolutely, yeah.
What time we end? 7:40? Okay.
Yeah, we supposed to end at 7:30, but let's take a couple of table topics so
Yeah,
the
I see
guests get an idea of
7:40 here.
what table topics is.
At 7:40 here, that's fabulous.
Okay, yeah.
And can I have, just let me change the view. I need to see our guest here too. And I would like to see if you guys are enjoying the Toastmasters. Rajendran, do you enjoy the meeting so far? Fabulous. And Renu, is she still here? It looks like she left. And Harvey is here. Harvey, looks like he's in listening mode. But thank you very much. It was a great reminder to all of us to keep doing better. And I would like now to pass on the control to our table topic master, Mr. Satish Prabhu. Satish Prabhu, table topics. Take it away, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul.
And everyone can mute their speakers. Oh, sorry, microphones, please. They can unmute, sorry.
Okay, I think we're getting some new people joining us. Let's see, yeah. All right, so what is table topics? For the benefit of our new non-Toastmasters. We already gave you a demonstration of prepared speech by Rochelle, and our guest speaker, Roger, who is an international speaker, and you saw a longer speech by him. Table Topics is a session where we practice what is called impromptu speaking. I would like to compare it to what is similar to what we call an elevator speech. So let's say you are a salesman and you are with your client in an elevator and you have only 30 seconds or a minute in which to make a sale or impress. This is what is an elevator speech. In Toastmasters, we learn that by practicing this in every meeting, and we call this a table topic session. So what I do as a table topics master is put people in a spot. I just pick somebody at random and they have no idea what I'm going to ask them. And I give them a question and they right away have to speak for about a minute to 2 minutes and do a good job about it. So the speech needs to be done in the right way where you have a introduction, a body, and a conclusion. So it's a very small speech, a 2-minute or 1 to 2 minute speech. So let's start. I would like to invite our member, Madan. If people don't know how old Madan is a grandfather, he's a great grandfather. Did I say that right? And you just celebrated your 80th birthday last year or this year?
81.
81. Now that should give us an idea that Toastmasters is not just for people who are working or are in the job, but it's for anybody. It doesn't matter at what part or what spectrum of life you are in. You can come and use Toastmaster and find value in it. So Madan,
Yes.
how has Toastmasters helped you and when did you start? So give us a small idea of when you started or when you first started with Toastmasters and how did it change your life? In what way has it impacted you in your life?
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day, Tabletop Master of the Day. While the Roger was giving a speech, I was thinking of that when he go and see the person not answering it. This is where I started 10 years ago. A client of mine come to my office and I'm a financial advisor. So my job should be to communicate with him properly. When I was talking to him, he stopped me after about a few minutes. He said, Mr. Chauhan, I know you are older than me. I know you are experienced than me, but you do not know how to talk to a client.
Oh my God.
I said, what? I'm 20 years in the business. I don't know how to talk to a client. He says, yes, you don't know. I said, what did I do wrong? He said, you interrupted me every few minutes. You didn't listen to me what I'm saying. You're interrupting me every few minutes. I did feel bad, like going to the ground and hide somewhere in the hole. And he said to me, he said, you know what, Mr. Chauhan, you should join a Toastmaster. And I didn't know what Toastmaster is at that time. I never heard the word Toastmaster. To me, the Toastmaster was, I tell you, show you something, is this. You see the Toastmaster? I have framed it. Some people have seen me. That's what given to me by my daughter when I achieved my DTM. I joined the Toastmaster in my office, my corporate club. I began to improve. I tell you, I still have that weakness in me, interrupting people, but it's very less now. It's almost like maybe 10 to 15% of the time, instead of 80% of the time interrupting the person. I have improved, like Roger said. It's not just speaking, it's listening. You cannot answer properly if you haven't listened it properly. what was the question asked? How can you answer it? So it took me 10 years to get the DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster. And that's how I got #1 Toastmaster. On my 80th birthday, that was a present to me, given to me. And I believe it's not 2 years. This bread is still the same fresh, right? But that's what made me to go into Toastmaster, not only to communicate, but to be a good listener. And I said, I still have a fault. I still drop the mirror, drop the baton. I still happens, but I realize the same time, stop, listen, stop, listen, stop, listen. Don't promptly say something. So that's what Toastmaster ever taught me. And I thank you very much to the Toastmaster and all the nice people here who helped me. And I thank Roger. Roger I have known about almost 6-7 years now. He come to many, many functions of ours and did a speech. And he inspired me. And people like Roger, people other like Toastmasters here, they inspired me to be a better listener before I become a better communicator. And with that, I say thank you very much. And that's what led me to go into the Toastmaster. Thank you.
Thank you, Madan. That was really nice to give us an insight. I didn't really know about that. I know a lot about you, but that was something new that I learned today. Wonderful. Rajendran.
Yes, Sadesh. Yeah.
What did you know about Toastmasters before today? And I know you are here primarily because I kind of convinced you to come here. After what you saw today, what do you feel and how do you think it's going to help you?
Okay, so yeah, first of all, I would like to thank you for the invite. And it's definitely, I always see things, I mean, like whatever is coming on my way is an opportunity to improve myself. And until like 5 o'clock, I didn't know anything about Toastmasters. Like, honestly, I wasn't even looking at the emails that I received till 5 o'clock. And then I received like, okay, maybe the reminder email that I received. Okay, then I started searching for Toastmasters, like what am I going to do this in this session? So then I started watching a video on YouTube, like how maybe a few minutes video that was hosted on YouTube, and to understand the basics of Toastmasters. And I realized like, yeah, this is a kind of a program that will definitely help me to improvise my communication skills and leadership skills. Lately, I started taking up an additional responsibility in my work that requires a lot of communications, coordination, and especially the leadership thing. So I was kind of feeling that, okay, so I want to improve. Always I want to improve the way I articulate things, the way I transport or like explain my ideas to others. So I kind of realized that this might help me to improvise where I am and take me to a next level. Honestly, I did not check the entire course details, but like, or whatever the materials that you guys are offering or what kind of sessions are going to be. But I just had a glimpse of what was all about Toastmasters on that 2 minutes video. But going through this session with all of you and the nice introduction speech and Roger's talk about his experience and all that thing, I think I will benefit. I mean, like by attending or like making myself available to these sessions and being part of this community, Toastmaster community, I'll definitely be able to improvise my communication skills. And especially, sometimes I feel like less confident when I present ideas to people. Like I realized a lot of things, but sometimes when I'm not confident about an idea, and then when I'm forced to explain it to somebody else, I can definitely give a better explanation to others, right? So I had been put on many situations where I can't perform to my full capacity, but I always took those things as, as a challenge, and then I tried to improvise myself. And I always try to improve myself to go to the next level, or to in my career as well as in the, professional as well as my personal life. I'm sure this community will help me in a way that I can be a better person, a confident person, and a communicator. Especially, I love listening to people, watching a lot of public speaking videos. I love watching them. I never tried to give a small speech, even a minute speech to anyone. But I have, if you've gone through my YouTube history, you would have seen like thousands of people. I've listened and watched thousands of people speaking. So I love that art. Maybe if I can learn at least 5-10% of that thing from the community, it would definitely be helpful for me.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rajendran. This was actually a bigger than your table topic speech. So you definitely are doing much better than you think you're doing. Okay.
He just gave a 5-7 minute speech. You just gave your icebreaker right there, my friend.
Yeah, that was an icebreaker right there. That's what Roger says. Yeah, see?
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
You're much better than
So
what you think you are.
that would be already completed in his pathway. So that would be already
Yeah,
completed.
absolutely, yeah. I'd like to call on our other guest, Harvey. Harvey, would you mind giving us your feedback, and do you think it's going to help you in any way in whatever you are? So first of all, we'd like to know who you are and what area of profession you are in, and how you see Toastmasters helping you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak up here in front of you, also very intellectual people. And thank you, Mr. Paul Seema, for inviting me to be a part of this wonderful event. And I was starting with Mr. Caesar's speech, or I would say his part of the story. I mean, it took me to a different level, and I was somewhere, floating along with him where he wanted me to take. Sometimes I was in the game along with him. Sometimes I was in the hustle. Sometimes I was standing next to him when he was talking to his grandma, and feeling the pain that he was going through, when he was trying to kind of make me feel better. And so thank you, Mr. Caesar, for that wonderful experience. And about my experiences with Toastmaster, I come from the state of Punjab in India. And there we have one club named Toastmasters. And a friend of mine once invited me to be a part of it. That's in its locality called Sarabanagar. It's a very posh area. So at my first instance about Toastmasters, I always thought, well, man, you know what? This is just going to be, people just talking about random things, How is this going to even help me? I never went in there. But today I want to thank Mr. Paul Seema for inviting me here and getting to know what this experience actually is about. I have some troubles with myself. I'm a good starter, what I believe in. I'm good at communication skills, but I'm not a good finisher. Sometimes I get lost with my own story and my words, to which I believe and I think after going through all the experiences you guys have been sharing, that it would definitely help me. And I look forward to being part of it. I hope it would be a good journey.
Wonderful. Thank you, Harvey. That's good to hear that you found something of value today, and we hope to actually see you in person the next time we have a meeting. So we meet every first and third Sunday of the month, and those who have been here today, you are welcome to join us. Please share your contact information, and we will send you the meeting invite for the next meeting. I thought Christiana, okay. Miss Christiana, I know you joined very late, but have you heard, and how did you get invited, and what brought you to Toastmasters? And can you share any other information about you, and if you find Toastmasters useful from whatever you have heard so far? Hello, Miss Christiana, are you there? Okay. don't believe she wants to speak, maybe we can continue with
I
our
think
session.
The last time when Mr. Paul Thema wanted me to speak, I couldn't unmute myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I couldn't unmute myself. I
Okay.
wanted to, I was speaking, but then I realized I was
Okay,
not unmuted.
Let me see. I don't know. She should be able to unmute.
Hi, Christiana.
Paul, can you see if you can unmute her?
I am trying if I could. Let me check. No.
She can at least chat, right? I haven't seen anything in her chat.
Yes.
either.
Roger, are you leaving?
I do. I have to get going.
Okay, Roger, thank you very much.
Just wanted to say thank you guys.
Thank you, Roger.
Yeah.
Fabulous speech. Yes, you motivated, you pumped us all up, and you shared a lot of insight about your life, which is a great experience. Anytime we hear you, wonderful. You leave us all enriched, is the word I would say.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And I'm glad that I was a part of your open house. And I hope you guys get more members. Bring them in.
Well,
all right.
Thank you.
And good luck to you, Roger.
Thank you. Good night.
27.
Yeah.
Thank you,
the
Mr.
best.
Roger.
Good luck to you.
Bye, Roger.
Bye.
Okay, so are we able to get her to speak? No?
No, I guess I'm not
Okay.
sure if she's still there.
All right. So let's then wind up. If anybody has any, now it's an open floor for the next 5-10 minutes. If anybody wants to have any questions, anything, if you are interested in becoming a member and you want to know what the next steps is, how do you are welcome to come and join us as guests. But if you already made up your mind, Rochelle is already here, and I know she probably has a membership form ready if somebody wants to join.
Yeah, Christiana says in a few minutes, so
Okay,
that's okay.
no problem, Christiana. We'll wait for you.
Your table topics did cover some portion that I was going to ask. The feedback automatically came in. So that was, you had smart questions for table topics. And we have, did Dr. go left of a meeting or he's still here?
He's gone. I don't see him. Yeah.
Okay, so Madhukar Shahi, would you like to say something?
Yes, Madhukar.
Sure. Though I am a Toastmaster, but still I learned lots of things, and thanks to Satish bringing such a nice topic. And as you said, Paul, that it shouldn't be in the reserve speaker. It should be quite the first.
Oh, you know what the reserve speaker is? I reserved my spot. That's what it is. It's not
I see. So nobody can take it, huh? Okay, that's a good one.
He put his handkerchief on that. This is my.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was very, like educational, but at the same time, very in an interesting way. It's not like that the teacher is telling something dry subject or something, So I think that I know like Satish for the last, I think 4 or 5 months, and he's very active in many clubs, and he always bring energy, and he always try to help people. If he can do such kind of a workshop or presentations in other clubs where the president or the club needs, that will go very long way, and people will be regenerate with their lost energy. And Paul, you said like Satish came when you really wanted some kind of Baba Ramdev, something, So that's. Thank you to Satish for Malton, and Malton word has a special for my heart, because when I was planning to come to Canada, people told me about two cities where to go, and they said like you go to either Brampton or go to Mississauga. So I said, what is Brampton? What is Mississauga? Because I never visited. Like I traveled all over the world except the Canada, because when I was planning, nobody was knowing where is Canada. Everybody's saying England or USA. So Brampton because of Indian community, especially from the north, and then Mississauga, especially one spot which is Malton, and that's where I started my life, being in the basement, Morning Star. those who are close to or living there in the basement. Reason was I was told that if you are in Malton, you will get job the second day. I said, like, how come? They said, like, every time at least 9 to 10,000 people are working at Pearson International Airport, and the best part, number 7 is 5 minutes from there, and airport is 24 hours. But unfortunately, when I got a call from Canada, from Canadian High Commission, it was 9/11. And you know what happened at the airport? 9/11, no job. So I have a special, as I said, Malton word I cannot forget. That's the place where I started my Canadian journey. And that's the place where I started my ESL class. That's the place where I started my work and everything. And had somebody told me when I landed in Canada, the Toastmaster is there just next to your door, I would have joined. But nobody told me. They did tell me that there's a Toastmaster, which I did not care. I said, what is Toastmaster? And Satish, you know, right? Yesterday I was telling that when you're a new immigrant, you look for a job. You look for your family, your children's betterness and all. Who has time to join Toastmaster at that time? Because you don't understand the value of Toastmaster, and Toastmaster wasn't that known name in India. Like Rajesh was saying, like he heard like in India, but nobody was knowing what Toastmasters 20 years ago or 25 years ago in India. So that's my story. And did I cross my level 1? More than 5 minutes? So back to you, Mr. Paul, and thank you to Malton Community Toastmasters for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I think Christiana is ready to speak. Maybe she can just introduce herself.
Yeah.
Hi, Christiana. Are you able to speak now? Hello.
Hello, everyone. How are you today?
We are very well. I know you joined pretty late we were almost at the end. Yeah. So what brought you to us today? What brought you to us?
Okay, I'm a member of the Brampton Alpha Toastmaster.
All right.
So whichever club I can join or go to learn more, because I'm pretty new and I want to learn as much as possible. So I want to observe and to listen and to learn, and also to participate whenever it's possible.
Yeah, so nice of you to join us. Wonderful. You are welcome to join us as guests in our next meeting.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
great.
sure.
It's great to see you.
Certainly I will.
So Brampton Alpha, that's Tula. Did Tula forward you the email?
Yes, Brampton Alpha's forwarded in the group. That's how I get access to it to join you guys. Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Group.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Christiana.
Okay, thank you. Nice to meet you all.
Yeah, same here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
All right. I think we are at the end. Rajendran, if you have any other question, if not, we are about to wrap up and hope to see you at our next meeting.
Sure.
All right.
I'll attend the next meeting. So
PG, Ravinder to say something too.
Yeah, Ravinderji, your thoughts?
About the meeting? I thought it was wonderful. I think this is a great idea to have an open house and to, expand membership, because it only helps. It helps everybody, right? It helps the existing members, but the potential new members will get a lot out of this. And I loved your comparison with Dale Carnegie, because those are very expensive courses. I had looked into those before myself. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
And your thoughts? You're the only one who hasn't spoken.
Oh, sorry. Is that me?
Yeah, your thoughts. If you want to speak, if you don't, it's okay.
Oh, no, thank you very much. I think the meeting was wonderful. I think we benefited from what Caesar had to say. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Okay.
Toastmasters is a platform where we learn, we sharpen our speaking skills, and we just take it from there.
Cool.
I'll be that brief. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kian. All right, so our Sergeant at Arms has left, so I will now officially adjourn the meeting, and we'll invite you all to the next meeting, which is, I think, 4th of April. Is that correct, Paul?
Yes,
Wonderful.
4th of
So-
April from 6 to 7:30 p.m.
Yeah, same time, 6 to 7:30. And you will see the full regular meeting session. So you will see exactly what happens in a regular meeting. Wonderful. All right. Thank you, everyone, for your
Thank
support.
you.
Good night and
So we
God
did a
bless
great
all.
job.
Stay
Yeah.
safe.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Take care.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye
See you
now.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Have a good evening. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Everyone, good night. Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night.